Why did I become a transformational life and a transformational leadership coach while also having a full-time job as an executive during the day? Well, my story starts a year ago. You see, a year ago, I was walking in a park in the evening and I was attacked by two young men. One of them grabbed me from behind and threw me to the ground, while the other one proceeded to steal my stuff. But here's the thing. When that occurred, I chose to jump up, to run after my perpetrators, to chase them out of the park. I caught them, I recovered my stuff, but I also ended up in the emergency room because I did incur a lot of bodily damages. And while I was in the emergency room, not really knowing what was to come of this situation, what was to come of me, they were telling me that they had just found blood in my brain. They were also telling me that I may need facial surgery. And there was just so much uncertainty and fear that was going through me. But in that moment, I chose to look at the circumstance through the lens of love rather than through the lens of fear. I chose to focus on the goodness of that circumstance. And I went into this deep attitude of gratitude, being so deeply grateful for being in one of the best hospitals in the world, being surrounded by doctors who were some of the best in the world who I knew could help me. I also chose to forgive my perpetrators, not because it was okay what they had done, not because I was condoning what they had done, but because I didn't want to live with that energy in my body. And here's the thing. Afterwards, even though I had never posted anything personal on social media, I chose to come out of the shadows and I posted on social media about what had happened to me, but also the lens through which I was choosing to live my life and the lens through which I was choosing to look at this circumstance. And when I did that, thousands of people poured out with their support, their love, but not only that, but they told me that I needed to come out there and I really needed to start to share with people how to transform their lives and how to live differently in this world. And here's the thing about life coaching. I've learned that 80% of people who go through life coaching or go through coaching and they invest in themselves, they have higher self-esteem. They improve their communication. They experience more joyfulness, fulfillment. They live with greater excitement and peace in their lives. Not only that, but they also tend to improve their relationships and their work performance improves. So this is the reason that I am choosing to be a life coach and a leadership coach. It is because I know that I'm changing and shifting lives. Now here is my story. My story is that I'm the younger of two kids, and I grew up believing that I was this tiny, small, limited self who really wasn't very talented, very bright, or who wasn't really good at anything. I was okay at many different things, but I never excelled at anything. And I also grew up in this little box where I just allowed everybody else to give me the definition of me, to give me the definition of what it means to live a good life. So it was, I was to be this good girl, and there were all of these definitions that went with it. I also didn't believe that I had something really special to give into this world. I also grew up being a huge people pleaser. You see, my parents went through divorce, and kids of divorce, because of the wounding that we go through as children, we tend to grow up to be people pleasers. And that's because we want to avoid any kind of conflict, because conflict is extremely traumatic to us. And so as a result of these experiences, during COVID, I fell into this very deep, and it's not depression, it was more like sadness and loneliness. Because in that spaciousness that I had during COVID, when we weren't seeing anybody and I was spending so much time alone, I got the chance to ask myself the question, who are you, Vicki? Who are you? What is it that you want to experience in this life? And I remember feeling so sad and there were all of these tears streaming down my face because I genuinely didn't know who I was. I knew what other people had told me I was, but I didn't have my own definition of me. I didn't know the type of life that I wanted to live. I didn't know how I wanted to wake up and feel in the morning. And so I went on this self-discovery journey, and it took me several years to get through this, where I really started to identify a lot of the traumas and the patterns and the beliefs that I had developed throughout my lifetime. You know, one of the things that my mom used to say to me, well, you know, you can't be a good mom and be an executive at the same time. And that really conditioned my thinking. Or there were all of these definitions of what it meant to be good, what it meant to be a good girl, you know? And so I had all of these beliefs and patterns and fears in my body. I was afraid to play tennis. I was afraid to try pottery. I always believed that I was not athletic. I believed that I could not draw, that I didn't have an artistic bone in my body. And so it was in that fear that I started to discover myself, because I started to challenge myself by doing the things that I absolutely was petrified to do. So you know what I did? I signed up for tennis lessons, and I would come to tennis lessons and I would shake because I knew that I could not hit that ball, but I would show up. And I would show up for me every single week, because I wanted to show myself that I can do hard things. And the more that I became okay with failure, the more I started to let go of my fears. And there was this whole transformational journey that I went through. Even being able to create these videos. The first time I created a video, I remember shaking. I remember having a script. But here's the thing, I continued to walk through my tunnel of fear because I knew I could, and because I know that I can help people. Today, I'm a transformational life coach. I am helping people who are feeling so stuck, overwhelmed. They come to me telling me how they feel so lost. And we start to look at what are those underlying beliefs, patterns, energies, epigenetics, childhood wounds, inner child work that we need to look at in order to help my clients shift and to really start to see the beauty and the joy, the fulfillment, the peace with which they can live their lives. And here's the thing, do you know why we get coaches? We get coaches because you are here. You are stuck in the overwhelm. You are stuck in feeling scared. You have fears. You have all of these doubts about yourself. And here's the thing, a coach, and it doesn't have to be me, any great coach, they can get you to where you want to be, which is peaceful. You want to have clarity. You want to have joy, fulfillment, abundance. You want to live authentically. You want to discover the real you. And they help bridge that gap that much faster for you. It's just like any employer. Why do we hire people? We hire people because they're going to help us get to where we want to be, to the outcomes that we want to drive that much faster. And that is what I do as a life coach. I work with my clients, and there are right coaches and right clients for the right people. And here's the thing, it's not about whether you're going to work with me or you're going to work with somebody else. The thing is, if you're finding yourself stuck, overwhelmed, if you're finding yourself unfulfilled, if you're finding yourself living in fear, not feeling abundant in your life, find the coach who's right for you, because they have been where you have been, and they can help shortcut this journey. And instead of this taking you 10 years, 20 years, I just worked with a client and we uncovered a pattern that was within her for 15 years. It was sitting dormant. She didn't even realize it was there. So that's the thing, is you don't have to wait 15 years. You can shortcut your journey and you can feel better now. So this is why I do transformational life and leadership coaching, because I know I'm helping people, I'm transforming people. And if I'm the right coach for you, then reach out to me. I would love to work with you. And if not, find the coach who can help shortcut your journey and who can help you get to where you want to be, so that when you wake up in the morning, you're feeling empowered, you're feeling joyous, you're feeling excited about what this day is going to bring for you. You're living in gratitude, you're living in peace. You've learned the tools so that you no longer wake up with anxiety, and you have transformed, you have shifted the literally the cells in your body and the neural pathways, so that you are reprogrammed, so that you create new beliefs, new memories, and so that you start to live your life in a place of love and joy and fulfillment. I am sending you so much love, and I really just want you to go on this journey of finding the true essence of you, which is magic, which is power, which is love, which is joy. That is our natural state of being. So I am so excited for what lies ahead for you, but just take the first step, raise your hand in life, and live the life that you are here to live. Sending you so much love.